Hi everyone, my name is Maya Patrose and I'm an associate producer for the weekend edition of the Today Show. You can usually catch me producing our Pop Start segment that airs on the Saturday version of our show.
And we are back this Saturday morning with Pop Start.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how to cut tapes to copy. But before we get started, let me explain what cutting tapes to copy actually means. Essentially, you want whatever visuals you're showing in your tape to match what's actually being said in the script. So to know what elements you need, first thing you need to do is check the script. Here you'll see if you need a shot of a celebrity walking on the carpet, maybe spending time with their family, a politician giving a press conference, or visiting the site of a natural disaster. It's all in the text that the producer or anchor or correspondent wrote in their script. Now that you have the elements that you need to figure out how to most accurately match it up to your text. The best way to do this is to figure out about how long each section of the script that talks about a specific visual is actually going to take. There's some software that can help figure this out for you, but a good rule of thumb is that each clip should be about 3 to 4 seconds long. Once you've laid everything out, you want to read your script out loud while watching your tape back to make sure that everything actually matches up and you can adjust your time accordingly. With the talented, hilarious, and generally effervescent Jane. Once you've got all your required elements in your B-roll, you want to make sure that you have some pad at both the top and bottom of your tape. Pad is like a little bit of a cushion that allows for a delay in the tape actually playing on television and gives enough time in case your anchor or correspondent reads a little slower than you were reading when you were in edit.
A great conversation with Jane Krakowski next week.
You wouldn't want the clip to end and for them to cut back to your anchor on camera when we really should still see what they're talking about. Now, the opposite of cutting a tape to copy is cutting a generic B-roll. A generic B-roll is just video that's going to play when an anchor or live guest is talking about a topic. It could be talking about President Biden or talking about coronavirus patients in the hospital. So you need to find elements that can convey that general idea without being too specific on a certain event because we wouldn't want to show something that we're not actually talking about. A good rule of thumb is to look for visuals that happened recently. So maybe you're looking for President Biden just from this week, or you're looking for a protest that recently happened or a court hearing that wrapped that day. When you're cutting a generic B-roll, keep in mind that they're probably not going to play out the entirety of your tape because the conversation that your anchor and live guest are having could go ahead and move on to a new topic quicker than they thought. So keeping that in mind, you want to keep your strongest visuals in the first 10 to 15 seconds of your tape. Most likely that's what's actually going to play on television. For both tapes that are being cut to copy and generic B-rolls, there are a few things you want to look out for and some things to avoid. First, make sure your tapes are always at least 30 seconds long. This ensures that as much of the script as possible is going to be covered by visual elements if you're cutting a copy. And if it's a more generic B-roll, it's giving plenty of visuals to play out if they do in fact talk about that one topic for a long time. If you are cutting a generic tape and maybe it's from one specific press conference or event, try and make it more interesting. Look to see if there are different angles that were shot so that you're not just sitting on one single shot of President Biden looking straight into the camera for a full 30 seconds. Secondly, don't cut on an edit. If you're using a music video or a movie trailer or a scene from a television show, there's going to be edits within that where they move to different scenes or move to different actors. You just want to be careful when you are cutting your tape. You obviously want a moment that has a lot of action and is showing your main character doing something. But if you cut right before there's a transition or a flash to another character, it can look like a glitch or even a flash frame. Instead, look for moments that are at least 3 to 4 seconds long where a scene can really play out before you move on to your next element. Third, if you're pulling photos for one of your tapes, look for relatively clean backgrounds. You don't want the name of another show behind them. If they're sitting down doing a late night talk show, you don't really want paparazzi photos. You want things that are clean and generic and really make sure that your person looks good. Finally, you want to be on the lookout for anything that might not be appropriate for your audience or fit for air. Sometimes the actor or musician that we're profiling might have some recent work that isn't quite G-rated, so make sure that you're picking clips that don't have foul language and are visually appropriate. And of course, triple check your tape, make sure it's closely matching your text as you read along, and that you don't have any flash frames. Cutting tapes to copy can be a bit intimidating at first. As long as you remember that you have everything you need laid out for you in your script, it can actually be pretty fun. You can look for moments that really stand out and show off that actor or singer. And you actually get a lot of editorial control in what is going on air on television. Again, I'm Maya Patrose. I'm an associate producer with Weekend Today, and I hope this lesson was a little helpful for you. And so next time you hear someone ask you to cut a tape to copy, you'll be able to jump right in. For more journalism tips, skill training, career advice, and more, be sure to check out the NBCU Academy.